That's all right. Aurelia.
Oh,
The
really?
reason I wanted to save her for last, I think she's the best of the five by far.
Yeah, my reaction was like, oh, really?
No,
That's so bad.
that's really funny. Aurelia, I like it. If we make a deck with Aurelia, it's gonna be cap. It's just gonna be like capital O, capital R, capital L, capital Y, and then IA, right?
Oh, really?
No, it'd just be a lowercase a after that.
Right, right. I understand.
Okay, I'm trying to picture it in my head right here because the capitals change things.
For sure.
Anyways, the first interaction that I thought was adorable, but then realized that this is also a card I'm probably never going to be playing with, is the fucking Frost Titan Mana dude that blinks a dude out of play with Soul Bond. What's his name?
Uh, something, something, something. Deadeye Navigator.
Deadeye Navigator. How you could swing with Aurelia, blink her out, and then it's a new Aurelia, so you get to swing her there, swing her there, swing her there, swing her there, and yeah, essentially just like Splinter Twin them out, right?
2 mana is a combat phase.
Um, huh?
2 mana equals a combat phase. You can buy combat phases pretty much.
Yeah, which is cool. But I don't know. But then you could just run out of mana,
Right.
and not to mention if
After
they,
having like 4 or 3 more combat phases, it's pretty certain that you're going to be dealing a lot of damage. Like the Deadeye Navigator is pretty big himself as well.
um, yeah. But then you're playing two 6 drops, and one of them's double blue, and the other one's double red, double white, and they're
It
not
would
the
seem that
same.
you're just a grinding control deck that just like Splinter Twins them out, like you said.
I would not be going like if I were building a control deck with Aurelia, which let's talk about that for a second here. I would not be playing. I don't know, like that's a lot of 6 drops to be shoving in there right away, you know? Because I think
Right.
what Standard is missing right now is not the fatties. Like it has awesome fatties. It has like Thragtusk and Angel of Serenity and Craterhoof Behemoth and all these huge, really powerful, arguably undercosted cards. But like the 1 and 2 and 3 drops are so mediocre. Like Think Twice. Like
Right. Like
people
the
are
setup
playing.
is just like so hard to do. Everyone's just like dirtling at the beginning. That's why like Farseek's such a good card because it just gets them out of the dirtle range.
Well, right. It just puts you up into that range of good cards faster.
Right.
Because even the earlier cards, like talk about like, well, we could talk about the best cards for like aggro decks and standard, like Silverblade Paladin, Geist of Saint Draft. I even like Ash Zealot and Red Deck Wins. I think that's a really good card.
Right. Like we can just do the best cards on each converted mana cost.
Yeah, I mean Thalia's up there for me. A lot of, but
Aristocrat is pretty good.
Falconwrath Aristocrat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that card's sick, and it goes over Thragtusk, which is awesome. Um,
Agreed.
but yeah, let's talk about the deck she's supposed to be in. So she's Boros, so everyone, well, not everyone, a lot of people are gonna think like, oh, this is a sweet finisher because I'll play like turn one
One
champion. Yeah,
weeks.
exactly. They're gonna think I'm gonna already have a board presence and then play her and then swing with her. It's like no, you're gonna the board's gonna be empty. You're gonna cavern this chick into play in a control deck and swing for 6 and pass turn.
Like Rune Shadow Pike decks. Like I like this in like Blue White
Oh
Flash.
God, Root Chainer's Pike, she's so mean on.
Like if you have a Pike on like an Augur or like Invisible Stalker or something, just like bam.
Yeah, I was thinking in like a black white red control deck too, like because if you're playing like Lingering Souls as well,
Charles
and like
Messenger, Restoration Angel.
well, Giralf's is a bit, and not even a bit. It's a big
We'll
stretch
go
on the
deep. We'll go
mana.
deep.
God, you want to play Giralf's Messenger and Restoration Angel together so badly.
And Thragtusk.
No, I was thinking more.
And Enter the Infinite. Come on.
Actually, that was a deck I wanted to talk to you about, which we haven't gone over. Or no, we did talk about it. Playing the Hell like core red with Falconwrath Aristocrat and Hellrider and Ash Zealot,
Right, yeah, I remember this.
and yeah, and even like a two of his Zealous conscripts, and then just like hoping that Boros prints some nice like red fillers for us. Because again, the cards that we're missing in standard right now are not the 4 through 4+
Right,
drops. It's the 1 through 3 drops that are all really really terrible.
exactly.
I mean, like some of them are okay. That's one of the reasons I want to play Thalia though, is because any deck that's like trying to go big, like you just shut them down a turn, you know?
Yeah, like the one drops that I like the 12 2-power zombie creatures. Like that's pretty good having 12 2-power creatures.
Yeah, no, zombies has good 1 through 3 drops,
Yeah,
but then their only good 4 drop after that is Falconwrath
is
Aristocrat.
right.
They have Hellrider too, but that's sometimes a stretch on the mana base. Although I was glad to see that people actually started playing Rakdos Guild Gates and started playing Hellrider in their decks. I was not happy to see them playing Thundermaw Hellkite. I hate that card.
Yeah, like they'll try to like play Bump in the Night as their like game card, which is fine and all, but whatever.
No, they cut Bump in the Night in that.
Yeah, but that's what they're trying to do to like grind out like game cards.
Yeah, it seems a little interesting. Like, I would be playing Bump in the Night over Thundermaw Hellkite in that deck
For sure.
because it doesn't get It doesn't get like counterspell because you're gonna play the first one on turn one, right?
Yeah.
Or like you're gonna fit it into your curve somewhere. And if they really want to like syncopate your tapped out Bump in the Night, then sure.
Yeah.
But if they syncopate your Thundermaw Hellkite, that's actually kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's just like, jeez.
It's like, oh,
A
okay,
whole card.
go.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, end of turn, I will Synthesis Revelation for 6.
I'll draw 6 cards.
Yeah, but I think
I'll start my turn.
Aurelia belongs in a control deck, and if I were starting to build a deck that was utilizing Aurelia in a control deck, I would probably start with I don't know what number of Aurelia, but I would be playing 4 Restoration Angels and I would be playing 4 Cavernous Souls because I would definitely want to cavern both those cards into play.
Right. I'd like Snapcaster Cloud Shift as well. That's another angle we could go.
Cloud Shift is cool. Yeah, and I guess if you go blue, I don't know. Cloud Shift is just one of those cards that like you don't really have any good 1 through 3 drops to be blinking in and out of play.
Like that, play some Augur Bowls build or something like that, and just try to pike them.
But
it's a bit of a stretch. But
I haven't seen an Augur Bolus deck that I really liked yet, besides that counterspell one, the Blue Eye Flash as they called it.
Yeah.
And I liked that deck because that deck is good if people aren't playing Cavernous Souls. But the problem is like people should be playing their Cavernous Souls, and they're just gonna have to learn the hard way by going into a metagame with a bunch of syncopates and dissipates and rewinds in the main board and getting punished for it.
Like it also depends on what the Gideon Juror is as well, like the red-white one that should be coming out.
Did they say that there's printing a Gideon?
Yeah, there should be a Gideon. Like it's highly likely.
I hope they make him like a Johnny Vengeance, if that makes sense. Like powerful enough to be very playable and standard, but not overpowered.
I know it has to be different from a Johnny Vengeance though. Like he has to be doing something pretty specific. I think it would do like Battle Cry or Trumpet Blast or something stupid like that.
It could be good. It'd be good in the like with Lingering Souls and stuff like that.
Like red, black, white tokens or something like that.
Yeah, the other thing that we were talking about in the red, white, black control deck that I think we briefly mentioned that to each other and we talked about it a little bit, but going bigger than because we were kind of like trying to next level the Restoration Angel, and we figured that with Sorin you could just make yours a 4/4 and then it's way better because it bashes
it's like breaking the Goish walls.
Yeah, it just bashes into theirs and blocks theirs, so it's much better. I also like having a Restoration Angel in play because a lot of times like Angel just kind of like maybe gets in for 3, maybe plays defense, but as soon as you play Aurelia with a Restoration in play, that's 12 damage.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be
like Aurelia in the Naya decks as well, like maybe with the Domri deck, because like Huntmaster flip Aurelia is exactly 20 damage, which is pretty nice.
That's cute. It's always nice when it's exactly 20.
Yeah, it's a good number. But everyone starts at 25, so it doesn't matter.
Or more with Thragtusk. Ha, I got it.
Yeah.
That's very true. Thragtusk is something to keep in mind at all times. Although things with flying and haste are cards that are good against Thragtusk, right?
Right. The only problem with this card is like on an empty board, she just gets stopped by a Restoration Angel.
Yes. You can remove their Restoration Angel.
Right, but that's the only problem I can see with this card. Like, if that happens too often.
Well, maybe when we're building this deck, even with the Sauron Markov plan, because we play Aurelia, we pass turn, and we bash, and we pass turn at them, and they pass turn, holding up their angel. I guess we're pretty far
Right.
ahead there.
Like
That's
if
a
you have the
pretty
emblem,
ideal
this card's much
situation.
better.
Say that again?
If you have the Sorin emblem, this card's much better.
True. Yeah, Sorna, because then it's, oh god, because
With
then,
angels.
yeah, with both angels, that's 16.
Yeah.
That's nasty. The one of the things that I really like about her is that, like, we're just talking about how Restoration Angel could play defense or offense. One thing I like about her is you can play her against an aggro deck and get in there for 6 and viably be racing them and also still have a 3/4 blocker.
Right.
Like you're
the
playing,
Restoration Angel blocker.
yeah, like you're playing against Azorius aggro or Selesnya aggro or whatever, and you play her and they don't have any flyers. Let's say they have like Loxodon Smiter and some elves on and whatever on the board, and you bash for 6, and then it's like you're gonna win that game pretty quick.
Right.
Because then you do it a couple more times and Searing Spear him.
Just untap and just like Rune Shannon's Pike this thing. Just like,
Oh god,
boom.
I always forget about Runechanter's Pike. You're right. That's actually something that definitely should look into. I like Runechanter's Pike. It's just hard to set up those decks.
Right, like even against the control decks, like you just like Maul and Horn if they raff it away and just like pike him again.
Hopefully, a better piece of equipment will come out.
Hopefully, like some red white sort of War and Peace type card.
Hopefully, we get Sword of War and Peace.
Yeah. Now, what did we get last time Ravnica came around? It's a pretty good red white equipment.
I don't know
Like a
because
hammer or something.
I wasn't around for previous Ravnica, but I was kind of looking back at some of the other cards. Return to Ravnica looks like a very unique set.
Yeah, it's much different to the first one.
And just like all the abilities are like, I haven't really seen a lot of them. I think they're doing a good job at printing very new cards, you know?
Yeah, they're going to like interesting design spaces and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if you're going to brew with one of the 5 cards that got spoiled, like if you're like us and you can't wait for more spoilers to come out, I would start...
Tab 2 to the right.
Which... Oh, Enter the Infinite. Yeah, if you're Sashi, you'll play Enter the Infinite. I would play with Aurelia. I think she's awesome. I commend anybody who does anything with this guy because I think he's awesome. But I'm not gonna play with the card just because I like him. I'm only gonna play a card with the card if it's good.
Right. My justification as well.
I remember I had one of my friends was trying to make Worldfire work.
Yeah.
He was like, how can you play Worldfire? He's like, well, I guess the best way to cheat a Worldfire into play is by ultimating Jace. And I was just like, if you ultimate Jace, are you really losing the game at that point? I didn't.
That friend was me.
What'd you say?
That friend was me. I remember that conversation.
No, it wasn't you. It was Ryan.
Yeah, I was on Worldfire for a long time.
No, Ryan was on Worldfire. Were you on that? Were you on the World? Both of you were on the Worldfire train? What the fuck is wrong with my testing partners?
I was trying to like spell twine and all this janky stuff.
I've told you guys that card's shitty, though, a million times.
But it says win the game.
It also gets syncopated for 1. Like, you literally cannot win against Blue-White Flash. It's impossible.
For sure.
So you take that deck and you throw it in the garbage. That's what you do once you realize that Syncopate for 1 beats you.
Take it to my F&M and 2-2. Feel good.
Alright, well, that's enough about spoilers, but as soon as we start seeing more, we'll do another episode on the new ones that we start to see. So, until next time.